Hey, everybody, welcome to the Rockman Power Hour bite-size edition. We're going to chat with the cast of Resident Evil. This is a brand new show that is streaming now on Netflix. A lot of fans of the movie franchise and of the video game are going to dig their teeth into this. It's got all the gore you need. It's got a great storyline, and it's a little bit different than your regular Resident Evil. I think it's going to throw you for a loop a bit. And the cast is wonderful. We got a chance to chat with them. And before we go any further, though, let's thank Heartbeat Hot Sauce, always there for us and always there for you. HeartbeatHotSauce.com. And if you use our promo code Rockman20 right there, that'll give you 20% off your entire order. So without any further ado, Resident Evil, it's been popular for years. It will always continue to be in popular culture. And this latest take on the franchise is one that I think you should check out. Here's our interview with the cast of Resident Evil.
Hi. I love your background. Look at everything that you've got. That's
Thank you. Yeah, I've got all kinds of.
I'm just sat here with my little Rubik's cube. You've got up to me.
Well, you got some kind of lab stuff going on back there.
Yeah, so. Just a little bit of red bubbles and a yellow background.
I got a chance to watch episode 1. I didn't want to watch too much because I kind of wanted to talk to you and see if I could pull something out of you guys without knowing everything. Because I have 8 episodes that I could just dive into, but episode 1, I mean, right off the bat, you're like, okay, we're dealing with zombies expected in Resident Evil. And then like, oh no, there's something like that looks like a giant tick.
The caterpillar.
That's kind of a little terrifying. I mean, tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, it was honestly, I was at the mercy of the special effects and VFX department, to be honest with you. It was we knew we wanted to have monsters like in the franchise. We have those iconic, infected creatures, and that's what we wanted to inject in right from the beginning. So a category that we thought was a good starting point.
and it's just, I mean, just the way that it comes up and it's just right there and you feel it and you're like, oh man, like it's bad enough that in this franchise, the zombies are fast.
Yes, that part.
That's terrifying enough, but then that comes out. So it's just like, whoa. I love the fact that you're so far in the show, you're going from the past to the future, back and forth. You're getting backstory. Things are getting revealed. It just seems like it's going to be a really, really fun ride. Did you have a good time making this?
Honestly, it was so fun being able to do all those big action sequences with such amazing people. The supporting artists were incredible. The crew was amazing. We shot it out in South Africa, and also the cast. Like you say, we had the split timeline, so I didn't get to spend too much time on set with 2022 because that would be a glitch in the matrix there. Yeah. But in regard to when we were offset, we had a great time, but also because it was so immersive and it was so visceral, it was very challenging to shoot, and using those emotions in the character and on set was it was a great experience.
When you went back and saw your younger character on those sets, was there part of you that kind of wanted to be on those clean, pristine uniform sets? Because they looked like they would have been a blast to be on.
Oh my God. We had this group chat where we'd send BTS of stuff that we were doing throughout the day. I would they'd send me something, I'd be like, these guys are just living the dream. Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, I'm a huge fan of the horror genre and
same,
and also of Resident Evil period. So I mean, being the person who was able to be covered in all the gore and the prosthetics and all of the dirt was very satisfying at the same time.
I think what's most exciting about this is that this is going to take us out of the 2-hour frame and really get into something we can dig deeper into, where we can actually have a nice story arc and we can get our hands literally dirty and bloody. So I really enjoyed it. And I can't wait to dig further in, and I can't wait to see where your character is going to go, because it just looks like it's going to get interesting. And I love things that reveal slowly. I love slow burns. So
yes, I mean, that's kind of what we wanted to work on. Especially with, Jade's character. She's not a superhero. She's a survivalist. She's a scientist. She's a mother. She's a human being. And you get to see the decisions that young Jade, played by Tamara Smart, makes in 2022, inform And those traumas inform the decisions she makes in the future, and the reason why, you know, she doesn't often make the best decisions, but they're split-second decisions that she has to make. And you love her, you hate her, you reason with her, but you understand her, which is the most satisfying part. So I cannot wait for you to see that arc.
Same here. Thanks for taking the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry about this big smile, Lance. I'm really, really excited to be talking to you today.
Oh, it's okay. I'm smiling too.
I never thought I'd be talking to Cedric Daniels. And I'm a massive fan of The Wire. And every time my wife and I go to Costco when we were out of laundry detergent, I still say we have to re-up. But we're here to talk about Resident Evil. I only dove into the first episode because I didn't want to spoil too much. But right off the bat, your character is shrouded in mystery. There's so much stuff going on. I love when you go in and
it's a great way to put it.
And I love when you go in there and you set the principles straight right off the bat. I mean, and it just shows that you obviously in this universe, you have a lot of power, but there's a lot of mystery. Was it a fun character to play?
Oh, that's an understatement. This has been one of the funnest characters I've ever played.
Really? And you've done a lot.
Yeah, well, I've been so fortunate. Especially over the past 10 years, I've been able to play so many different kinds of characters. And one of the things that drew me to this was that he's so different from anything I've ever played before. And that he's so, it sounds like such a cliche word, but he's so torn between his responsibility to his work and his passion for the science and his, it's going to sound funny to say about Albert Wesker, particularly fans of the video game, but his sense of social responsibility and how much he loves and has a loyalty to and is very protective of his daughters.
Yeah, and you see that right off the bat, that no matter what, I mean, and you know, you see that you're obviously busy, you got a lot going on, but you do care about your kids.
Yeah.
But there's these little things that, you know, there's a syringe that goes into your neck at one point, and then you're like, what is this? So there's all this stuff that's happening, and it got me right out of the gate. It got me. And I was fortunate enough to, you know, my daughter and my son watched it with me. And as soon as you came in, you did that whole speech in the principal's office. I was like, everything he does, it's just like butter. Everything he does.
Everybody wants their dad to be that guy. Yeah.
Totally.
Because it's interesting. Well, I only say kind of because I just remember the conversation that Billy has with Jade later. And she said, he was kind of scary. She's like, Dad?
And it's funny because a lot of your characters can be, you know, you do play a pretty ominous, scary guy well. And now I'm talking to you like it's the biggest teddy bear. Is it strange to be playing something knowing that in the future this character might shift? And do you play it differently when you read the script, knowing when you get that reveal in the script is like, okay, I got to play it a little bit different? There must be all conscious decisions with that, right?
Well, man. It's because the problem is getting into spoiler territory.
Sure. No, it's okay.
But here's what I'll say. When this project first came to me, I had the good fortune of being able to read, you know, there's 8 episodes in the first season. I was able to read the first 7 before I even had a meeting. So nice. I knew where the character was going for a season. You know what I mean? And I understood where the story was going and how the characters character development fit into the plot. So that made it easier to, I'm not going to say it made it easier to do, but it made the preparation easier to figure out how to approach.
Were you at all ever a fan of the game? Are you a gamer? Do you game? You know,
it's interesting. I'm kind of a gamer, but the only game that I play kind of religiously is Destiny.
Okay.
Yeah. And I never played Resident Evil. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know that it was a video game that when this project first came to me, because I only knew the movies.
Right. Same. And then my son educated me. He's like, no, Dad, this is a video game. And I went back and watched some of them. And he even made me wear this. He's like, you got to wear this when you do the interview, the umbrella logo.
Oh, this is the umbrella. Yeah. The umbrella signal. Yeah.
But you know, I'm excited to see where the show is going to go. And again, you know, I'm just such a fan of your work. The Wire was such an important show. My all-time favorite show. It's, you know, and there's a lot of great stuff that's come out. So just to see that you were in this, piqued my interest right off the bat. And so far, I love where you're going with the character. And it's just a pleasure to chat with you today, man. Really, truly.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for taking the time.
Absolutely.
Hi. Wow. Okay. So first of all, I've never seen a high school look so clean.
Oh yeah.
Was your high school that clean? That place was like Immaculate.
not.
Yeah, no, I went to British school, so absolutely not.
Grungy, right?
Yeah.
It's fun to see the back and forth of the characters. It's fun to see younger. I love when you can dive into a character and then you have to pull back and then find out more about them. And I love stuff that goes back and forth in time. Did you ever at any point say, I kind of wish I could be in that other universe and not in this one?
I think there were definitely moments that like, because we love the stunts, but we did get to have that in our timeline too, which you'll see.
Yeah, that's it. I haven't gotten too far in. So I'm just saying, like, right off the bat, it's like, oh man, like, you know, one of these characters is going through a rough time. And then when you go back and it's like, oh, okay, it still is a rough time because I mean, everything's pristine and clean and uniform and doesn't look right. It looks computer generated. So, but it's just fun to see the stark differences, yet the creepiness in both of them.
Yeah, we get it pretty easy, man. I mean, it's emotional on our side, but I just remember Ella was always covered in just
gum,
who knows what, and just you couldn't even see like anything. She just changed color into like red and black and like just everything.
We go out to dinner and like all of us together. Maybe Tamara and I might have like a drop or two on us, like behind her ear. Ella would be stained on her hands. And like
all over.
She was like, I couldn't bother. We're going back to set tomorrow.
Was it a long shoot to shoot the first season?
Yeah. It was 6 months, which is the longest show I've done.
Longest show I've done away from home, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So 6 months in South Africa.
Yeah.
Wow. And was it nice? Did you guys enjoy being in South Africa?
Yeah.
We got to spend a lot of time actually exploring because since there were 2 timelines, we had so much time in between when Ella was filming. So we went to beaches,
surfing, went horse riding.
Yeah. And then we'd come to set the next day and then cry our hearts out and then go back to the beach.
Yeah. And they just had a heartfelt moment. It was a great time. I also had my birthday there. So
that was
nice.
Yeah.
It's there's a great use of music in this show so far. I noticed like right off the bat there was a Ghost song, and I love Ghost. And there's just it just seems like, you know, whoever's putting this together is firing on all cylinders, you know, visually, in terms of casting, in terms of musical choices. So I'm excited to dig into this. This universe, you know, the Resident Evil universe is one that I've always felt is limitless, and the idea that we're getting a long form show and not just a 2-hour film or a video game is really, really fun to be able to have a long story arc with characters, you know, over 8 episodes. Are you excited to be involved with something like this that is a part of a franchise and an extension?
Yeah, I'm so excited. As a lover of music, I'm always listening to music. Always. You'll find me just with my headphones in all the time. I think it's so powerful in the show, and I think they use it so well. And I think that they wield it almost like a weapon because it just cuts you off guard all of the time. Like even us watching it sometimes don't even know what's going to happen, and we were there. And so I think it's so powerful as a tool. And I'm so excited for people to see it, and I think it's such a new take on Resident Evil, and it's like really bringing in the next generation.
It's definitely, like you said, it was well crafted. Like everything that is in this series, obviously you have the monsters, you have the same world, but there's little hidden Easter eggs for the fans, as well as just like tiny moments that were like they're so deep and they're so meaningful. You just have to. You have to pay attention, and you can put it all together. There's just so much.
Yeah. And you both got to act with Lance, who is
right?
a legend. I got he came on the screen about 10 minutes ago, and I had to talk to him, and I was like a little kid because I'm such a big fan of The Wire. So, and he's amazing, and not at all like his characters. You know, he seems like the sweetest guy ever.
He is so kind. We'll back that.
Yeah. Sure. Oh yeah. He's so amazing. It was such a unique experience. I've never really filmed with family before. And so I didn't really know what to expect when going in. And I was very nervous when I first met him. We were both quite quiet around him for a while. But obviously we're doing this for 6 months. So I can't keep shy for very long. And so we kind of just got to know each other, and he's such a kind person and such an intellectual in terms of film, and you know he really knows what he's doing, and he gave us so much advice.
I have to say he is such a huge actor, and it was inspiring for the both of us to see this well-known, very established, very respected actor still like take the time for his craft, and like he cares so much about it, and like you said before, like he asks the questions, and
Yeah.
that was just really cool just to see someone who's been working for so long still take that time for the art.
Totally. Thanks for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for taking the time to chat today. I just got off with Lance. I mean, how awesome is that dude?
I know. Isn't he so cool?
I got on and right away I was asking him questions about The Wire. And I'm like, all right, no, I'm not here. But it's how can you not, right?
I know.
And he's so sweet.
I know.
I mean, he has this like big
I did-
presence, and his voice is like so
Yeah.
imposing, and then he's such a sweet
And he's
That's-
funny.
and he's
Yeah,
so
well-
funny,
Yeah.
I got that right. No, but I got that right away, you know, through Zoom. I was like, man, you're really nice. I thought you were going to be like scary.
No.
Speaking of scary, this sounds like it's going to get a little scary. I mean, I watched episode 1, and right off the bat, I'm like, okay, this is a little different than what I'm used to. And it's like, I love the fact that you can take the premise from a video game, bring it into a movie over several movies, and then do a long form show with it. Because I think that nowadays people's attention spans, believe it or not, as little as they seem, are actually, for characters, people's attention spans are pretty long, and they want to sink their teeth into characters. So for 8 episodes, to be able to spend 8.5, 9 hours with these characters, it's cool.
Yeah, this is
Thank you.
this is surprisingly, I think this is a character-based show,
Mhm.
in which we see it's really complex characters and the consequences of their choices. So we see them in the past and all the baggage that they have in the future. And I think that makes the show really interesting. It is all about the characters, and it's all about like human connection also, and family connection, and work related relationships. So I find that part as an actor really, really interesting, because even if you're not a fan of the genre or a fan of the franchise, that's going to be interesting, because it does talk about humans and how we relate to our family, how we relate to our co-workers, and power and pain. It talks a lot about pain. So it has a lot of layers. And I hope people connect with those things.
And I love the two stark, the differences in you've got this post-apocalyptic place where we open up into, and then you go back to this pristine, like, what a strange place to live in. Everything looks so clean and so uniform. So it's very visually too. It's pretty pleasing to watch. Is it fun to, I mean, obviously your characters are going to be limited to where you can be and what, but is it fun to see those different things when it's all put together?
100%. I feel like what they did really, really well when I saw the final version, I think they cut, because I feel like not always easy to do. They cut very, very well between the two worlds. Like it's
yes.
very, and also
Yes.
there's like really good cutting points as to when you're going. It's all very clear. The vision is clear. Hopefully it's clear to the audience when we're going back, and they did a fantastic job with that.
Yeah, I think the storytelling is really good. The
Yeah.
editing is really good.
Yeah.
The post-production was great. And also in my case, I mean, my character is the only character that lives in both of the timelines.
Yeah.
So I got to, that was really fun for me.
Sure.
Like in
Sure.
the perfect, pristine world, and then the chaos of the future, the apocalyptic world. And so I got to be in two of those sets.
And it's fun to see the young Billy, at one point, like, oh, she's getting bullied. And then like, oh, wait a minute, there's more going on here.
Oh yeah.
And I'm excited to see where this is going to go. Do either of you game? Were either of you fans of the game? Or did you have relatives that were fans of the game?
I did not game. Having
Okay.
said that, I watched people game.
Game, yeah.
And I just watched. So I get the world. Oh my gosh. I mean, in terms of knowing people that play the game,
Yeah.
inevitable.
Yeah.
You mentioned
Yeah.
that you're part of a franchise like this. They're like, oh my gosh, I played it when I was younger, or hey, I just bought the new game. Like, that's inevitable. Yeah. Lots of fans, friends who are big fans. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched some of the movies, and then I played the first Resident Evil, and then I got to play the last one, the one with the VR, but that was recently after I shot the show, and that was really intense, too intense. too intense for me. I was like, I can't. But then I would go back to the world because it's so immersive that you actually feel that you're gonna die. So it was really fun.
Thanks for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, how are you?
Very good.
First off, kudos to getting Lance. I mean, I as soon as I got a chance to talk to him, I was like, "You're from The Wire." I was like, ah.
You just hear that voice and you're like, I will do anything you say. I agree with you.
But the thing is, after watching all of his characters and all the stuff that I love him in, talking to him face to face, he's like a big teddy bear. It didn't make no sense.
He's an incredibly nice guy.
Yeah, like really, really nice. Supernatural, just such a massive success. I just came off of Montreal Comic Con. I'm a spokesperson there. We had a Supernatural car there. I mean, the show is just going to go on and just forever be.
Yes.
And it seems like you're hitting all the right marks for this to do the same thing, because I watched some and I really was like, this is good. This is really, really good.
That's what we want. We're going to see Resident Evil and I'm like, then you're watching, you're like, oh, this is actually good. It's actually a good show.
No, but I mean, because the thing is, Resident Evil's been done and it's been done,
yes.
but it's never been done over, right now, over 8 episodes where you can really sink your teeth into the characters. So it's kind of fun, because sometimes you'll watch a movie of like, you could have done so much more if you didn't have an hour and 45 minutes.
Oh yeah. I think with movies, movies are short stories. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yes.
Games are a different beast. They're interactive and you're kind of moving through them. Television is a novel, right? And it gives you a lot more space to kind of explore the characters and the world and the situations and the monsters and the good guys and the bad guys. And that was what was really attractive to me about taking this and putting it on streaming was, I love this world. There's a ton of stuff there. Let's, we're not going to get through it all in the first season or probably even the first 2 seasons. Not, if we get the second season. But hopefully over time, we'll be able to kind of explore that through the eyes of these characters, both the ones we meet this season and in the future, maybe some more of our, what I would call like our legacy characters from the games and things like that.
It is difficult to put a new spin on it, but I feel like there is a new spin on it right off the bat. It just feels a little bit different than anything we've seen.
I hope so. The idea was that we were kind of, building our own little branch of the Resident Evil universe, but it feels like it is in that universe. So you could watch this show and play the games. You're like, oh, those things match up. You could watch this show and go watch the movies. You're like, oh, those things match up. Even if some of the details don't, the overall feel of it does.
And it's such a stark contrast from the post-apocalyptic to that pristine, weird world that the kids are living in. When you walk on and you see those sets, is it especially the flashback sets? It's just so creepy. It's almost creepier than the post-apocalyptic.
Well, I'll tell you, like where we shot that is not a set. Okay, that's actually a real housing community in South Africa. So in terms of the exteriors and things like that. So yeah, that was the idea. There's kind of in this kind of planned community, which in some ways, is creepier. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because in the future, there are monsters and zombies, but you're kind of in control of yourself. You know what I mean? In the present, always somebody watching.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. It feels like everything's created so perfectly that someone is checking out what's going on. The characters of the kids, the young versions of their characters, great. I again chatted with them earlier. Just they really feel like they're up and comers. They're going to have really long careers because they were very, very good.
Excellent. And we got really lucky with our casting, kind of top to bottom here. And they were fantastic. Lance is fantastic. Ella and Paola and Adeline are all fantastic. And to find young actors who can perform on that level, like there aren't a ton of them. And the fact that we got 2, I feel incredibly lucky.
Andrew, thanks for taking the time and continued success.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
So there you have it, our chat with the cast of Resident Evil. It is streaming now on Netflix. All 8 episodes are available. And I think you're going to enjoy it. It's got all the gore that you need. It's got all the sci-fi you need. It's got a great story that goes back in time. It goes forward in time. Takes a while to figure out exactly what is going on. But then when you get into it and you invest the time, the payoff is huge. So check it out right now, streaming on Netflix. Our thanks to Heartbeat Hot Sauce, always being there for us and always being there for you. HeartbeatHotSauce.com. I don't know if that's their tagline, but I just invented it. HeartbeatHotSauce.com. And if you use our promo code Rockman20, you'll get 20% off your entire order. Also, thanks to Studio House Designs, a great company out of Philadelphia that makes great movie-based t-shirts, studiohousedesigns.com, always keeping us looking fresh. Thanks to our producers, Ryan Stick and Julia Kajerski, and thanks to all of you. We'll see you next time on the Rockman Power Hour.